First, I would like to start out by saying hi to everyone, and welcome to the Resistance Revolutionary Party, and Happy New Year. Today is January 1st, 2019. This will be a 15 to 20 minute or so, 6-part video program following the November 6, 2018 midterm elections. There may or may not be other upcoming videos geared toward politics following this series. It will depend upon the success of this one. It is intended to change the course of American politics in a more positive, productive, and honest way. I'm your host, Gregory Duncan. We live in a country called the United States of America, but unfortunately the population, which is made up of over 320 million people, makes it more like the divided states of America because of political differences. When you have a segment of the country, Republicans, be they politicians or voters, who believe that history doesn't matter, science doesn't matter, math doesn't matter, facts don't matter, and reality itself doesn't matter because their only goal is to win a political argument, it is a complete waste of time and energy trying to convince these people of truth, facts, and reality's existence when they live within lies, opinions, and fantasies. Therefore, that tells me, along with anyone watching this video, that Republicans don't matter, nor should they. Yet they can't be ignored, try as we might. Each person or group are either the cause or the solution to America's problems, as well as the world itself. I would like to be part of the solution. Though I would like these videos to be of a serious nature, political-wise, and informative, I hope at times they will be lighthearted, fun, and enjoyable to watch. I do not want to bore my viewers. I would also like you to understand who I am, where I'm coming from, what I believe, and why I decided to make political videos. All of this will be covered as you continue to watch this series of videos. If anyone has any compliments or criticisms, feel free to express them. But keep in mind, this is YouTube, and they, like I, have standards. Now, before I get started, I would like to establish a few things. The definition of a lie versus the definition of the truth. The definition of an opinion versus the definition of a fact. The definition of a fantasy versus the definition of reality. In addition, my take on the differences between an ignorant person and a stupid person, as well as the differences between rational doubters, irrational doubters, and doubters by choice. Then as we end today's video, we will discuss whether or not when a person makes a statement, is it being misinterpreted or deceptive? And in that way, we can tell who is telling the truth or who is lying through one's consistency or contradictions. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes. I believe that's a quote from Mark Twain. Okay, what is the definition of the word lie? A lie is an intentional and deliberate falsehood meant to ignore, hide, or deny the truth. The definition of the word truth is something that can be proven beyond any shadow of doubt. Everyone is entitled to his own opinion, but not to his own facts. Daniel Patrick Moynihan. Opinion is a judgment, viewpoint, or statement based on an insufficient amount of certainty of evidence. Fact is something that is based on verifiable and provable certainty. This next statement, or I should say this next statement, I believe I was the first person to say it. I may be mistaken, and if so, I'm sure someone out there can set the record straight. Most people put much more emphasis on lies, opinions, and fantasies than on truth, facts, and reality. Fantasies. The faculty or activity of imagining things, especially things that are impossible or improbable. Reality. The world or the state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to an idealistic or a notional idea of them. Now, the difference between an ignorant person and a stupid person. An ignorant person is someone who is unaware of the facts. A stupid person is someone who ignores the facts. Now, this next quote I found on the internet. It conveys more of the very points that I'm trying to make. I'm unaware of who said it. People who have a streak of paranoia will always believe in a conspiracy theory even when there's no logical reason to doubt the known information. Rational doubters are people who need evidence that is more conclusive. Irrational doubters are people that will never believe no matter how much evidence there is. doubters by choice, or delusional, or what I like to refer to as delusional doubters, are obsessional and will only believe the truth with 100% proof, but need very little evidence, if any at all, to believe and accept a lie. Misinterpretation or deception. When a person makes a statement, it is sometimes misinterpreted by another. Even when you explain what you meant, they continue to stay on their interpretation rather than your meaning. At other times, when one makes a statement, individuals try to hide its true meaning through deception or denial. How does one know the difference, whether a statement is being misinterpreted or deceptive? To find out the truth, you must look into the statement and the person making the statement to know whether there is consistency or contradiction. In other words, once you consider the source, therein will lay the truth. Consistency versus contradiction. When someone is accused of either having said something or having done something, how does one disprove the accusation? No one should ever have to prove his or her innocence. The burden of proof should always be placed on the accuser. To understand whether the words or actions are based in truth, look at the accuser's evidence or lack thereof and see where the consistency or contradiction falls. Is brainwashing oneself possible? The answer is yes. The degree to which a person is willing to brainwash themselves into believing something that is not true about another person will stem from either their envy or jealousy of that person, or more so from their own ignorance or insecurities. They will come to believe the lie so deeply they will quickly and conveniently forget that it came from their own pathetic and imaginative perception, that they then place onto the individual as if that is who that person actually is. No matter how much proof there is to contradict their belief, they will with conviction go on believing their lies in spite of the overwhelming evidence to the contrary. And what is so fascinating about a person brainwashing him or herself is their denial of having done so. For example, a person can see something with their own eyes, hear something with their own ears, which will contradict their belief/perception, but it will have no effect on their continued delusions. The depth of hypocrisy. How deep does it go within one's soul? Sad to say that most people engage in hypocrisy, and not just on a small scale. If I were to guesstimate, I would say at least 75% of human beings live some part, if not all of their lives in hypocrisy, in my opinion. Some may not be aware of it, some may try to deny it, and others could care less about being a hypocrite. However, make no mistake, at least 75% of human beings are hypocrites, as I said, in my opinion. Who are more hypocrites? Males or females, blacks or whites, Asians or Hispanics, young or old, Christians, Muslims or Jews, atheists or agnostics, etc. Take your pick. Hypocrites transcend all types. There are individuals who will literally criticize someone for doing the same thing they do on a regular basis and not blink an eye. They're the ones who could care less about their hypocrisy. Others will criticize someone for doing something in the same breath they're saying or doing the exact same thing. And when it is pointed out to them, they will deny it emphatically or claim it is somehow different. In other words, using math as a metaphor, somehow in their warped minds, 1 plus 3 has a different outcome from 2 plus 2 because the numbers are different. Then you have the ones who are unaware of their own hypocrisy due to their own ignorance or deceitfulness. Now, the reason why I chose to start this video series with defining these words and explaining people's statements on any given subject, as well as talking about brainwashing and hypocrisy, is that when someone wants to win an argument or a debate, certain types of people will use lies or deceptive tactics in various ways. Therefore, I want the viewers to understand the differences. I don't want to come across as condescending, but my point is to get to the truth and nothing but, and use provable facts to back up my statements and maintain consistency. There are people who either believe or hope they can convince a person they are arguing with or a bystander passing by that their lie is the truth, that an opinion carries as much weight as a fact, and lastly, the delusional fantasies within their head is as real as reality itself. That is why I wanted to first establish the definition of these words and get to the truth of someone's statement. Lies are contradictory and are all over the place, but the truth remains constant, consistent, and steady. Opinions are just that, and everyone has one. However, there is only one fact to any given subject. Fantasies are unreal, unreliable, and imaginary, but reality exists. It is what it is, and it will force you to see the truth sooner or later, one way or another, whether you want to or not. So when a person uses lies or opinions to make their arguments, I want people to understand, and I mean really understand, without any doubt that person should be questioned or simply not be believed. You have people like Kellyanne Conway talking about alternative facts, Rudy Giuliani claiming that the truth isn't the truth, and Donald Trump lying every time he opens his mouth, but claims he can tell the truth when needed, but really when it's convenient. Another quote from Trump: "What you are seeing and hearing is not really the truth." It shouldn't be difficult for any listener to be able to tell who's telling the truth, especially when you have constant liars, fact fabricators, and delusional morons. You don't necessarily need someone to take a lie detector test when you know the difference and the meaning of the truth and lies, facts and opinions, fantasies and reality. Republicans talk about the debt and deficit rising when they aren't in power, but have no problem in blowing it up with tax cuts for the wealthy and overspending for the military. Make no mistake, the tax cuts are only for the wealthy and those in power, and the spending for the military is so that there is unlimited wars. There is money to be made by contractors who continue to making bombs, ammunition, and weapons of all kinds paid for by the taxpayers. And another reason why Republicans overspend on the military is so no country can do to us what we do to them. After the overspending of the military, we're then left with very little revenue to provide for our infrastructure, assistance to our veterans who protect this country with their very lives, the poor who need assistance with the necessities of life such as food, shelter, clothing, and health care, as well as the elderly and the disabled living out their lives with dignity with the assistance of Social Security and Medicare. In addition, providing Medicaid to low-income families. Republicans provide us lip service about limited government and deregulation. They want to prevent women from making the choice of having an abortion and forcing them to have ultrasounds against their wills, which is the worst case of government overreach and control you can imagine. In addition, they want to put an end to the EPA and the FDA so corporations can feel free to pollute our air, contaminate our food, dirty our water at no cost to them. And let's not forget about global warming. Imagine human beings living in a 200-degree environment. They also want to eliminate unions so individuals cannot unite and have a loud and clear voice at the bargaining table, so wages remain low and stagnant. If anyone disagrees with anything I've stated, that is your option, but give your viewpoint and go into details, because I'm not interested in hearing the vague ramblings of an incoherent, uninformed, feeble-minded nincompoop. Trump is one of the most famous constant liars, fact denier, and delusional persons we've ever seen, and his supporters, Republican voters, and his enablers, Republican politicians, maintain their never-ending blind loyalty to him for those very reasons. Remember, birds of a feather do flock together. Now, as I end this first video, I would like to express my thanks for those of you who've stayed and watched the entire video. As I've said, if anyone disagrees, if anyone disagrees on what I presented or find fault of what I've said, let me and the world hear. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and leave your comments down at the bottom. Remember, making a difference starts with you. You're either the cause or the solution to a problem. Thank you. And I will see you in my next video.